Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I want to thank everyone, inshallah, for their attendance here tonight. If you do not know, we had announced this week via email and also before the Jummah prayer today that inshallah tonight, the time that we gave was 7:30, but we may begin around 7:20, inshallah. I'm presenting to the community tonight a 3-year vision. And why do we need a vision? Why do we need an understanding of the path forward? I will explain that inshallah tonight between 7:20 and the Isha prayer. I humbly request everyone inshallah to participate and stay with us because this community's future depends on all of you. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use us, allow us to be used for the sake of His deen, make us a source of benefit, allow ourselves to benefit from ourselves and from the knowledge and from each other. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Inshallah we'll begin at 7:20. Assalamu alaikum. الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير وبك نستعين يا فتاح رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي رب زدني علما والحقني بالصالحين سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم سبحانك لا فهم لنا إلا ما فهمتنا إنك أنت الجواد الكريم. My dear respected elders, brothers and sisters and fellow children in Islam, once again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I want to thank you all for your presence here today. I want you all to understand the importance of what we're trying to begin today, inshallah. To give you some background so that we're all on the same page, alhamdulillah, through the grace and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, masajid have popped up around this country at a very swift pace, alhamdulillah. In my travels in the last 2 years to many of the masajid in various states in this country, I got to see beautiful new masajid with state-of-the-art technology. And I got to see older masjids that once served more than the city and the state, but rather multiple countries. I remember going to Sacramento, California, and meeting with the Imam at that masjid, and learning from him that that was the first masjid on the west side of the Mississippi River. And people used to come from Vancouver, Canada, during Ramadan to do i'tikaf and spend time there because it was literally the first masjid on the west coast on the west side of the Mississippi. If you go to the graveyards there, you'll find Muslim graves marked from the late 1800s. Islam has a very unique journey here in America. Michigan, Detroit is known for its vibrant Arab population, the largest Yemeni population outside of Yemen itself. And the reason behind that is also interesting because if you go to the Ford Museum, you'll find that when Ford was building his company, he needed people who were dedicated, committed laborers who would work day and night diligently to get this job done. But the culture here that came from Europe was, in the cold nights and cold days, drinking was a norm, and people would go and drink, and then they would have a hangover, come to work late, and it wasn't working for him. And so he then brought ships of Muslim immigrants into Michigan who can be considered the backbone of the Ford industry. And that's how Michigan became what it was. Majority, if not a large percentage of the African who were brought into this country as slaves were also Muslim. They preserved their identity at whatever cost they could. It was since the 60s and 70s that a mass migration occurred from different parts of Arabia and also from Africa and Asia, Southeast Asia and beyond. And alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us all enough that we could share and do good with. See, alhamdulillah. See, finances was a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those finances Allah facilitated, especially for those who migrated to this country. They had a lot of challenges on their plate. Integrating into society was one. Establishing their businesses or their position at the workforce was number two. Building a home for their family. Raising children. That's four. And then building Islamic centers that our children can continue to benefit from after our departure. I always tell the younger generation that, mashallah, all that we see here in America is within the last 50 years or so. Right? Boston Masjid, I forgot the name of the masjid, but they celebrated their 50th anniversary 3 years ago. And one of the older masjids. 50 to 80 years tops, this is where we've been here in this country. The next generation, alhamdulillah, have a lot of things working in their advantage. Do you all agree? The parents came and established things. They can live in their parents' homes. They can actually go to university and college. They may need to work small jobs or whatever the case is. Their family support is there. And mashallah, when they graduate and they become successful, alhamdulillah, and they go into the workforce, they're making more money than we did when we came into this country. I still remember the struggles I had 16 plus years ago when I came into this country. Living paycheck to paycheck was the hardest thing. I remember a time when I didn't have 15 cents to buy salt from Albertsons. That was the reality. But it was with struggle that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us the ability. Our children were born, we're raising them, and alhamdulillah, the future looks more brighter for them, alhamdulillah. But keeping this in context, understand one thing. The next generation is yet to build a masjid on their own. I'm not here advocating for more masajid. Matter of fact, the brothers in the Shura also know when I've been visiting for the last year, I'm a staunch critic of masjids. The expansions and the enlarging the facility, I'm a critic of that. I believe we don't need any more mega masjids. We don't. For one Jum'ah or two, some people have to pray outside. It's the case. But the thing that we're not understanding is 2 points. Number one, the larger the facility, the greater the cost becomes in the long haul to sustain and maintain it. Are you with me on this? The older a house gets, the more expenses come on the house. It's common sense. And number two, in America, where we went wrong in the close to 3,000 masajid that we have in this country, the place where we went wrong is that we highly invested in brick and mortar. But we did not invest in human resources. And this is the recipe of our disaster and our collapse. I always tell people we built hospitals and we then started looking for doctors. And since we couldn't find doctors, we told nurses to improvise. This is just an example. We told the nurse to do the front desk work, and then we told the nurse to draw blood, and now we're telling nurses to do open heart surgery. I'm not against nurses, but they have a field. And they have a limit on their field, just as doctors have a specific field, and they have limits also. If we feel that by continuing building masajid, we are going to succeed, we are lying to ourselves. There is two important things that we need to do from now, actually from yesterday. Number one is we need to start investing in human resources so that our facilities could continue to function adequately and sustain themselves for the next 100 years, inshallah. Number two is that we have to put together a vision and a mission that will allow the continue to grow, that will allow the community to grow. Yesterday I was at a conference in SMU, and Mr. Brian, who runs religion in workplaces, did an amazing presentation that after the government, the most money and assets are owned by religious institutions. And the amount of contribution that religion does to the American economy is in the trillions. A lot of money. And Islam is growing at a very quick pace, alhamdulillah. So it's not like we are Sears or Kmart and we may be going bankrupt soon, no. But we will become irrelevant very soon if we don't take this opportunity at hand and grow it. I made it clear to Brother Nafis and the Shura when they tried to hire me, I'm not coming to be another Imam. I've done this for 14 years, alhamdulillah. From logistical work to maintenance work, every aspect of the masjid, alhamdulillah, for 2 masjids I've done it. I want a project where the community and I can work together towards a better future, say inshallah. That's really why I came here, because out of all the masajid I've been to, mashallah, alhamdulillah, this masjid has true potential. But we have to do this and we have to do it together. So tonight I'm going to present to you a 1-year, a 3-year, and a 6-year vision, inshallah. I'm going to try to keep the interaction ongoing and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He enables myself and all of us sitting here to become vital assets for the continuity and success of Islam through Plano and beyond. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Brothers and sisters, one thing. Plano Masjid is not going to grow anymore. Right? We are in the final phases of our growth. I don't foresee that we're going to create another building and start something new. But as that continues happening around us in Collin County, masajid are growing and building and expanding. Plano Masjid has the opportunity, as we did years ago by building this facility. Correct me if I'm wrong, this is the pioneer in Collin County, right? This is a pioneer masjid. Allen, McKinney, Frisco, Epic all came after us. And as they are catching up to the facilitation of what we have here, mashallah, we have to now lead in explaining how these facilities have to function. And so with that, we move on. The first question I want us all to understand is, what is the purpose of a masjid? The biggest problem today is that we have lost perspective of what a masjid is. For those who come to the masjid and frequent the masjid, the general consensus is a masjid is a place to pray. A masjid is a place to learn. It's a place where people receive assistance and they receive guidance. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyone could talk, inshallah. I want to make this interactive. I know it's Friday evening. We're tired. But let me object to this. Because if the masjid is only prayer, right? Why did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, the whole earth has been made a place of prayer for me? Yes or no? Can you pray at an airport? At your home? On the rest area? You can pray anywhere. You don't have to come to the masjid. But in Islam, we're taught the congregational prayer is important, not because you get more reward, but because it is a vital practice in building unity amongst the community. So the more we can frequent the masjid and pray together, the more it will allow us to grow closer and become better. Education. You could watch YouTube videos now or take online series. But the masjid is a place where not education is given, it is a place where education is applied into one's life. Yes, there's assistance and guidance, and there's many more things. A masjid is actually, in my perspective, these things. Number one, the center of the community. The center of the community is different than a community center. A community center is a phrase used for a place where people come and have fun, or a place where people come and get together. The center of the community is the heartbeat of the community, i.e., this body cannot function without the heart. Do you all agree? If I took the heart out of the body, will this body continue to function? No. Yes, thank you. If I took the hand off, will the body function? Yes, the feet, the toes, the fingers. The body can function with a lot of things away from it, but it cannot function without the heart. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he came to Medina Munawwara, at that time it was Yathrib, and he purchased land from Sahl and Suhail, radiallahu anhuma, 2 orphans. If you look at the replica of Masjid Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam, I promise you all of us could put it up within 2 nights. Maximum. It was simple. 4 mud walls, and later they put like half a roof. It was very simple. Could anyone tell me how long it took to make Masjid Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam? Anyone? Yes? A lot of time. He's right, mashallah. It took 7 months. How much? 7 months. Because it wasn't the facility that defined the community, it was the community that defined the facility. So for 7 months, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was meeting every day with the men folk in the house of Abu Ayyub Ansari radiallahu anhu. Every second day he was meeting with the sisters. What are we going to do? How are we going to run this place? What's going to happen here? If you don't dream and aspire, nothing will happen. I've met people who've told me, I came to this country with $5 in my pocket. And today, mashallah, they're successful. They came with $5 in their pocket, but they came with $1 million dream. That was their aspiration, and they got quite close to it. Rasulullah ﷺ knew that this masjid will have to function on a level that no community center or place of worship has ever functioned before. And so when that 7 months of training and getting people on the same page occurred, it went viral. It went viral that Medina changed within years. Yesterday became Medina. And then people started coming and visiting. And in the final, close to the last 2 years of his life, Amul Wafud, the year when all the delegations from parts of the world came to Medina Munawwara. Why? Because the word was out, something's happening here and we need to go see it. Masjid Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam did something on such a level that every masjid should aspire for this. And remember, we will not become better until we come together. That is why even in Makkah Mukarramah, they used to go to Bayt al-Arqam. They used to go to Arqam's house. They used to hide in community, used to get together. Why? Because without the heart of the community, doesn't matter who we are, how much knowledge we have, how much money we have in our accounts, we're not going to have it. We're not going to be successful. So the masjid is the center of the community. It is a spiritual hub for all Muslims. As Muslims, we know that our soul is what gives us an edge in our world. Many of us sitting here are professionals, mashallah. Doctors, engineers, IT professionals, mashallah. But what makes you better or gives you the edge over all those who are out there in our community is your spirituality. The spirituality that allows us to be honest, hold on to integrity, to be just, to be truthful, to put forth morals and ethics, and to live by them, that comes not from Google, it comes from the masjid. And that's the spiritual hub for all Muslims. It is a place where the community can congregate and unite as one people. Remember one thing, Shaitan will always try his best to destroy when we come together. So if we're embarking together, inshallah, tonight on this path, I promise you that Shaitan is going to start. The question is, are we going to allow him? The question is, are we going to allow him to break us down and succeed in what he's doing? Because he knows what lies behind unity. He will cause fitna. He will cause strife. He will cause separation. He will cause division. Brothers and sisters, there is too much at stake today in Islam, in Dallas, Texas, in America, that we should not even be thinking about these things. My goal is that we all work collectively to unite as one people. If we can do it, even those who are here tonight, we've made a big step forward for the sake of Islam. And the last is where we learn, apply, practice, and propagate from here to the society. Any questions on this from anyone? No? Let's move on to the next slide. Every masjid stands on 4 vital pillars. MashaAllah, the sisters who attend the sisters class on Tuesday know. We talked about this last 2 weeks. There are only 4 pillars of a masjid. The first is spirituality. This place is where rahmah that descends on the Kaaba every day and then ricochets out to all masajid around the world. There is certain type of charge that you get here. That is why you should frequent the masjid to build your spiritual connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second is education and enlightenment, where we are learning and we are understanding. Learning is great. MashaAllah, we can learn and we could continue to learn. But for us to comprehend it and for it to enter our lives is really what's important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the example in the Holy Quran, كَمَثَلِ الْحِمَارِ يَحْمِلُ أَسْفَارًا. The example of a donkey that picks up books. A donkey could pick up 100 books if it has the strength to, but it doesn't make it a scholar. In perspective, we don't want to be here to amass knowledge. We want to make this knowledge useful. Number 3 is community and connection. So going clockwise, spirituality, education, enlightenment, community and connection. It's a place where we come together. The masjid are supposed to be safe zones, where no one feels any harm from anyone at any time. Physical, verbal, mental, it doesn't happen here. Inshallah, by the end of next year, we will have stickers on our doors that this masjid is a safe zone. We know there are problems, but we are working diligently, and inshallah, with your assistance, we're going to work more diligently to make a community a true community, where we root out tribalism and racism and prejudice and all other factors that separate us, and we come together as one family, inshallah. Do I hear inshallah? And the last is service. Serving Allah, serving ourselves, serving humanity at large. So these are the 4 key pillars that make a masjid a true masjid. Whatever is beyond these 4 are the cherries or the sprinkles on the ice cream. Right? If you assume that by having a basketball court, we are going to preserve the next generation, you're fooling yourself. Because you cannot compete with the YMCA. You cannot compete with the gyms and the recreation center. You just cannot. If you think we're going to have a movie night in the masjid or a dinner and that's going to preserve our community, we're fooling ourselves. These are not the reasons why we have this masjid. These are additions to these 4 pillars. But every person in this community should feel, I need to come here for myself because I need my spirituality. I need to learn and enlighten myself. I need a community and a connection with people. And I need to serve Allah, myself, and of course, humanity at large. Now that we've understood a masjid, inshallah, what defines an imam? This is an important point because you ask anyone, what's an imam? Oh, someone who leads prayer. Imam namaz padhata hai, khutbah deta hai, right? Aqiqah, walima, janaza, this is all the imam does, right? Unfortunately, people don't understand the job of an imam and what it entails. I could tell you it's a very stressful job. Alhamdulillah, last year I worked a corporate job, and I could tell you it was a breeze compared to this job. Imam's job is hard because an imam, by definition, means a leader of the community. So let's go first to the opinions. So the opinions that differ from people to people is there. You ask any person, every second person's thoughts is different. Most people believe that imam is someone who leads prayer, teaches children, preaches to the community, conducts religious services, janaza, nikah, so on and so forth, and is responsible to be responsive to each need and every need of every member. Right? Imam, I called you. You didn't pick up your phone. Brothers and sisters, I have not even checked my emails today. I'll show you the numbers. Emails, text messages, phone calls, it's hard. But it's not like we're ignoring it. There's a lot to do. In reality, an imam is a leader. His leadership entails 4 areas. How many areas, everyone? There's civic responsibilities, civil responsibilities, religious responsibilities, and pastoral responsibilities. In 2012, NPR did a segment on masajid and imams in America. And at that time, the documentary was done. Some of Dallas's leaders were on that segment. They told us that America had, I think, 2,200 or 2,300 mosques at that time. And that only 42% of masjids that have a congregation of 100 more had an imam. Hear these numbers very carefully. 42% of masjids that have a congregation of 100 or more had an imam. The imam was maybe a paid employee, but the criteria of qualification is vague. In my book, an Imam is someone who has gone through the education of spirituality and religion, mastered the 15 sciences to which they can comprehend the Quran and Sunnah, have an understanding of the contemporary world that we live in, and with their spiritual knowledge and contemporary society lead the community. Now, this is just one part of it. 42% have the Imams, right? Now, out of the 42% that have Imam, 4 out of 5 of those Imams, and again, the qualification is vague here, because we're not saying each of them are qualified according to the standards I just said to you, but 4 out of 5 are from another country. What means that there is a generation gap, there's a language barrier, and there's a cultural barrier. We could see that evident that in the last 15, 20 years, our debates, our khutbahs revolved around things that were issues in our countries. The fatwas that we were talking about were from our countries. And that was so wrong, because if you have a problem tonight medically, you're not going to call Egypt, Pakistan, India and ask the doctor there, are you? Yes or no? You go to the doctor here because you know there's a problem, and the doctor here may know what the problem is. So what happened was, by that outsourcing of our religion, in the sense that that they know and we don't know, that created this generation gap, this cultural barrier, and of course the language barrier was there. And the 1 out of 5 that are from the West, they don't stick around anymore. Maybe for a year or two they'll do the job and they'll leave and open up their own institution or Quran program or whatever else. So we are losing in a big scale. That is why, inshallah, one of our goals, inshallah, within the next 3 years, is to create a program where we can groom and build our own Imams and scholars, leaders of the community, help with your assistance to educate them, bring them back, train them here, and send them around the world, inshallah. So, inshallah, we're going to dream big tonight. We're coming with $5 in our pocket, and we're going to be talking about $1 million dreams. And even if we don't reach $1 million and we reach $250,000, it's better than $5. You guys agree with me on this? Sisters agree, inshallah? We're going to make a move, inshallah. So as for the civic responsibilities, just to enumerate, responding to crisis, public engagements, attending matrimonial services, attending memorial services, attending to the media, attending community events, visiting local schools and colleges. These are civic responsibilities. Religious responsibility is preparing and delivering Friday sermons. It doesn't happen off the cuff. It takes some time. Leading the 5 prayers, teaching the madrasa, conducting funeral prayers and services, leading Ramadan and Eid prayers, organizing Quran Hadith study classes. Let's go to civil responsibilities, marriages, interfaith, welcoming visitors, engaging with the women and the youth, conducting shahada ceremonies, being available for men and women to answer their questions. We're going to pastoral responsibilities, bereavement support, premarital advice, mediating disputes, postmarital counseling, visiting the sick, and visiting prisons. This is just in a nutshell what an Imam does. The job isn't how many times you see the Imam in the masjid, it's how much work the Imam is doing for the sake of the masjid and the community. I just want people to understand this, because this narrow perspective of what an Imam does is what harms us. It's not just this, it's this and much more. So the question I'm proposing to you all today is, in the presence of a masjid and an Imam, how do we benefit from the two? Anyone can add an answer. These are my 4 proposals. Number 1, understand that there is work to do. Anyone here can put their hand up and say, sisters also, that we've done enough and we don't have to do any more. Anyone? Okay, number 2, we all are in need of this work. I want people to stop saying, "Ye to hum bachon ke liye kar rahe hain." We're doing this for our kids. No, we're not. If you're doing it for your kids, you need to do it for yourself and for your kids. We as adults are not excluded from the equation. So there's a lot of work to do, and we all are in need of that work. We need to come together in order to accomplish it, and we cannot feel content with our current state. Any thoughts, concerns, questions? The floor is open. Sisters also, they cannot call whatever it is. Everyone's with me on this? We need to benefit by understanding there is work that needs to be done collectively for all of us, and we cannot feel that we're good enough where we are right now. So how do we move to the better state? Number one, we have to acknowledge that we are not where we need to be. Number two, we have to pave a path towards where we want to go. We have to work collectively with the Imam to get to the next step, and we have to hand off to the next generation something they can build off of. Yes, sir. Sure. Mhm. Mhm. Alhamdulillah. Mhm. Mhm. Sure. Sure. Mhm. 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 Get them. Correct? Correct. So, mashallah, what you're saying, just for the sisters who never heard, that the brother's saying it seems that we're preaching to the choir because a mass majority of our community does not come to the masjid anymore. The, well, a good chunk. A good chunk of the community does not come to the masjid anymore. They do not participate in the masjid anymore. So how can we get them? To answer your question, it's part of my vision, inshallah. It's coming up. But jazakallah khair for that concern. And truly, what is the most problematic thing is if you are running a business and the business has something to provide to the community, but you can't get your customers, there's a problem. There's a problem. And we need to understand that I cannot talk about the past, but I can tell you that as moving forward, we need to identify that the number of children and adults coming to this masjid is close to two-thirds of what we should be having. There's more than a third of the community. We're talking about this community that's not attending the masjid. So that is work that we need to do also. So in light of that, and that's coming up inshallah, I want to present to you the 3-year vision theme. As Muslims, we tend to work hard. We need to start working smart. And this working smart is part of our effort to create a leadership program from our community that inshallah other communities will replicate and continue to adopt in their ways. As I said, we're not looking at building buildings anymore, but we're now building system of how masjid should function. So the 3-year vision is spiritually rooting today's Muslims with contemporary understanding of the faith to become the leaders of tomorrow. Did that hit a chord with you? The chord is contemporary understanding of the faith. We're not changing our faith. We're trying to talk about the issues that relate to us in the country we live in. Hamda Tay's khutbah, if anyone attended the second khutbah, was on what? Anyone? Halloween. Why don't we talk about Halloween? Why don't we understand the challenges that face us and our families and our kids with Halloween? We all are family people. We all have children. We all have challenges. So our goal is to spiritually root that our spirituality is what holds us down, understanding of the faith that's contemporary with the world we live in so that we can become the leaders of tomorrow. That being said, for the next 6 years, inshallah, this is our goal. This year, that starts from now, all the way till the end of 2019, our focus of everything we do is to enrich hearts. What is it, everyone? Enrich hearts means that we need to start from the source of our individual building process. If our hearts could be on the right path, then automatically our actions, our words, and everything else we do will be on par. But if our heart isn't right, then everything will not work the way we anticipate it to. So year 1 will be enriching hearts. Number 2, year 2 will be empowering souls. That once our heart is right through the right channels, we will empower our souls so that in year 3, inshallah, we will what, everyone? Enable leaders. Islam is about leaders. All of us sitting here are leaders, and we have to understand in what capacity can we lead. If you all can give me 3 years of your commitment, that's all I'm asking. And it's not for me, it's for yourself and for your community. I need it, you need it also. If we can collectively enrich our hearts, empower our souls, and enable leaders within ourselves, for the next 3 years after that, we can exemplify what service means to the masses. Does that make sense? We need to start from here. No one is going to come and do anything for us. Let me give you a legitimate scenario. A masjid hires an imam. There's growth. Things start going. The imam leaves. Nosedive. Right? Okay, let's start again. Let's start searching for imam. We find an imam. Growth. And then imam leaves. What happens? Nosedive. A community is not sustaining itself. My hope is that each of us can be empowered with understanding that we can sustain our own communities. Does that make sense? We all need to take a responsible stance in this community. By throwing it on other people's shoulders, we're not benefiting ourselves. We're actually harming ourselves. So within the next 3 years, inshallah, can I hear inshallah from everyone? In 3 years, inshallah, we will be equipped with the internal and external factors that make us into leaders, that we can tell the world how it is to lead, inshallah. So how do we do that? We want to enrich hearts through 5 processes: leadership, knowledge, civic engagement, interfaith, and the 5th one is the youth, the next generation. The 5 of them, I'm going to break them down, inshallah. So leadership is number 1. In my first year, inshallah, my goal is to meet with all the committees that are in this masjid. The goal is to meet with them, understand what is being done, give suggestions as to how we can fine-tune the process of what's happening, and allow them to articulate what the end result is that we want to get to. Does that make sense? From the education committee, the CAP committee, whatever there is, I want to meet with all the committees, and I've already started that, alhamdulillah. The committees I want to focus on is education committee, the outreach committee. I've already engaged with both of them. The youngsters, the youth, I'm working with them already. Social media, and number 5 is the shura. What is the goal with these 5? As for education, mashallah, everyone say mashallah. We have a lot of great classes happening at this masjid, mashallah. But I want to fine-tune every class that's happening in this masjid to make it such that anyone that is a potential candidate for that program can not only get that program, but they can also benefit from that program, and they can have an outcome through that program. So articulate the viability of each class for all those that qualify for that class by defining the objective, the value-driven delivery of each subject, and what the goal is. Everything that's happening in this masjid, brothers and sisters, there's going to be a very simple common goal. From our Sunday school to our seminaries to our classes and the halaqas that happen, we are in the business of making human beings into humans. That's what this masjid is going to do. We want us to become real human beings. Because if we're real human beings, then that's gonna be amazing in the world, where humanity is being lost outside these walls. So every single educational program has already been sitting with me for the last 2 months, and we are fine-tuning a process where we can see that everything that's being provided is aspiring for the goal of making human beings into humans. Outreach. We are not in our bubble. You talked about bubbles, brother? Bubbles and cocoons. For any one of us to think that the outside world isn't relevant to us, they're fooling themselves. Rasulullah called all the different religions to the masjid, and he worked with them through the masjid. In the time of the delegations, the Christians were worshipping inside the masjid. The Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, look what they're doing. He said, and what? They're not desecrating the masjid. They're worshipping their God. Our Muslim community after 9/11 has yet to exemplify what it means to be part of the greater community. We are not selling our religion or compromising our religion when we do so. You are not a Muslim if your neighbors are not free from fear of your hands and your words. So there is great outreach work going on here with Dr. Lazuni, Sister Joelia, and others. I'm going to be connecting this year, inshallah, with the current interfaith leaders and to build a relationship of trust. Let me say one thing here. I've been doing a lot of interfaith since 2004 with President Bush. Alhamdulillah, I've had the opportunity to work as part of the White House faith-based and community initiatives. Worked with leaders from across the country, from civic leaders and also interfaith leaders. In any interfaith forum, we see the Muslims always, improvise when it comes to Islamic presentation. Someone who is not a clergy member of the Muslim community will sit down and say, I'm representing Islam. Now, I'm not questioning your knowledge, but I've never seen a Hindu, a Christian, a Sikh, or even a Jewish representation outside of the clergy members themselves. As clergy members and imams, we have to represent our voices to the community. So I want to build a relationship of trust with the interfaith community on behalf of the community itself. With the youth, we want to provide stability and support through programs and engagement. I'll expand on that. Social media, we want to engage with the community more frequently on a higher level. And with the Shura, I want to work with the Shura that we create a 10-year vision. Where do we want to be by 2028? In regards to our facility, our finances, our community, and our effectiveness, we have to start looking ahead. All the masjids I've been to in America, not many, but quite a few, I asked the people, what's your 5-year vision? They're like, what is that? I asked them, what's your 6-month vision? They're, what is that? I was in Albany for a conference, and a brother grabbed me. He took me to his masjid. MashaAllah, beautiful masjid. A beautiful masjid. And he's like, Imam Sahib, this is your masjid. I'm like, this is not my masjid. This is your masjid. He goes on to Imam, we need someone to lead. So I put him on the spot. I said, what's your 2-year vision? I started picking his brain. He got so mad. He's like, kya vision karte hai? Namaz padhao, bachon ko padhao, ghar jao. Teach kids, pray namaz and go home. Guess what? Your business is a failure. If you as a business person or for whatever company you work are not thinking 6 months to a year ahead, you have failed yourself. So a vision is, where do we want to be in all aspects in the next 10 years, inshallah. It's something that I have requested Shura, and we're going to continue working diligently so our community needs to know where we can be. Number 2, brother, this is answering your question. Meet the community. My goal is to go and meet with all our Muslims to understand them, understand their concerns, and allow them to see that they belong to this community. Because if we don't allow them to understand that they belong to this community, they cannot be a part of this community. Right? We want to meet with our neighbors. We're doing that, inshallah, and I'm going to be talking about that tonight. We want to express appreciation to McDonald's and to the mechanic shop to hear their concerns of how we abuse their parking spots and how we continue to trespass on their property, and to allow them to know that we are going to work with them. Lastly is masjid facility and its image. We want our masjid to have a feel and a look that makes us happy. In Florida, the 2 masjids I served, go ask anyone in Florida. In the 5.5 years or 5.25 years I served in Fort Myers, we were the cleanest masjid in Florida. Port Charlotte, I left it as the cleanest masjid in Florida. Our masjid has to be clean, top-notch, in a way that it represents what it means to be a masjid. When it comes to the behavior, when it comes to the dissemination process for information, we're going to work on updating it that it can be such that we can all connect with it. Number 2 is enrichment through education. There are going to be classes, courses, and what's the third thing, everyone? What's this right here, everyone? Workshops. I know everyone's being tired. Just stay with me, please, for a bit. So we have problems in our community. We have the front end of our problems. This is where divorce, domestic violence, harming oneself, suicide, all this happens here. We are going to be addressing this, inshallah, and we have, and we're going to continue to. But at the same time, we're going to address the back end, where this stuff festers from. Where does all this grow from? We're going to look at the source, and we're going to stop it from the source. And in the between these two, we're going to educate on the process of application of what was learned in the back end to prevent the current outcome you're facing in the front end. We want to see stronger families, stronger children, healthier communities, healthier families, a mental and spiritual state which is more sane and stable. That's what we're going to do through education. How are we going to do that? Let me just leave this for you to read. The youth, the young professionals, the community, the converts, and the sisters. These are the places I'm focusing on this year, inshallah. From classes for the youth, workshops for the young professionals, classes, courses, and workshops for the community, a course for the converts, and a class for the sisters. Here is the goal with the youth. Necessary information which is contemporary. Young professionals facilitate discussions that empower them on matters that affect their future. The community, we're hosting opportunities for the community to come together and learn together. Converts, we want to establish a foundation that can facilitate future growth, which is not extreme, but it is moderate. And with the sisters, we want them to benefit from their Imam as their leader also, because we see the sisters are basically deprived in many communities from educational opportunities. Here are the classes I'm currently doing. You can look on the board. If you have any questions, let it be known. Ask me. There are currently 7 classes I'm working on. Adab happens every Monday night after Isha. We do prayer shots on Tuesday mornings after Fajr. Right now we're doing it and not doing it because Fajr is late. We have a sisters class every Tuesday from 11 to 12:30. Tarbiyah class for the children who are doing Hifz. This is their class on Wednesday afternoon. Dose of Deen Thursday with the teens. On Thursday night, we're doing The Way, which is our moral building through the Sunnahs for the congregation. And inshallah, tomorrow morning after Fajr, we're going to do the Ideal Muslim, followed by a breakfast for the community. The class is going to be more focused on the men because the same class is being offered to the sisters on Tuesday, but sisters and brothers can attend. This is what we're addressing, and these are the topics and books we're using for this year. Is that good, everyone? Okay. Moving on, courses. For the new Muslims, I'm going to be offering a course named Focus. It's going to happen quarterly for a week. It will be where we focus on 5 key areas which can create a stable foundation. That would be foundation, faith, family, friends, and future. Please disregard the second foundation. Holistic lifestyle coaching modeled by the Quran. Alhamdulillah, this is a course that took me almost 3 years to build. Alhamdulillah, with Allah's grace and mercy, I've taken it around the country. Right now, I'm teaching it in New Jersey. My students are a bit mad with me because I have not gone back to them, but we are on year 2 of a 3-year program. We started it here last Saturday. Alhamdulillah, we had 150 students. It is for adults, women, men, children, new Muslims, old Muslims. It's for everyone. And Alhamdulillah, it's a very interesting course. And Alhamdulillah, we have closed registration now because we have a lot of students. But the process is we decode the chapters of the Quran, understand the underlying message, and put together a plan of implementation to become a living Quran in the 21st century. These are 2 courses I'm currently offering. As for workshops, and if you guys remember, these were the reasons why we're doing this. We reassess our lives through classes, we repair our lives through courses, and we rebuild ourselves with workshops. That's right there. We have a Makkah workshop of Collin County Imams. They do it every month at a different masjid. Our masjid will be hosting it in December, inshallah. There's a course I was going to continue tomorrow, but unfortunately I couldn't get the assistance. So for this, we are going to be working on the front end of problems. We talked about mental health last month. Was everyone aware of that? Yes or no? Mental health in the gym? We had over 500 people in the gym. We were supposed to do bullying tomorrow, but the sister who was going to assist me could not make it. We will reschedule it for now. Here are the topics that we're going to be discussing. Communication. How do parents communicate with children? How do spouses communicate with husband and wife? We're going to talk about that. Loneliness, forced marriages, assault and abuse, finances, burden of being married in today's world, habits that can hurt me, healthy eating, and the Muslim me time. These are for the next 12 months. The courses are ready for the community. And inshallah, there's another course I'm proposing to young professionals, the Jesus of the Quran and the Bible of Christianity, to let you know that work is happening, inshallah. Events. We have our family night on the first Friday of every month, alhamdulillah. Inshallah, next Friday is going to be our family night. Please attend. We are thankful for your feedback, and we are going to work every month to better it, to make it more engaging with the community. We are going to be talking about a few things in the next 12 months. Who am I? My life, my wealth, money, and the world. We'll be talking about that slowly but surely. Inshallah, on Thanksgiving, we're going to have on Thanksgiving Saturday a program called Sharing in Gratitude, where the community comes together, engages with the community, have a meal together, and share gifts for the children with one another. In spring, inshallah, we're going to have our community festival or picnic. More information is to come. Inshallah, the first Saturday of December, we're going to have a neighbor appreciation lunch, wherein the neighbors of the masjid or your neighbors, you can bring them to the masjid and host them here for lunch as we build the understanding of who it is as a Muslim and how we are with our neighbors. The details will be given to you after Isha. Please sign up with the two brothers. Could you put your hands up? Brother Ahmed and MashaAllah, put your hands up. Sign up with them. Take a RSVP. Give it to your neighbor. Bring them and bring some food here and sit with them as we engage with them so they know who we are. This is another program. And last, My Masjid, My Image, where 2 times a year we'll come together for a few hours, clean up the masjid, take care of the masjid so we can value and appreciate it more. Civic engagement. I'm just going to rush through this. I know it's getting boring. Civic engagement. The government workers in this society represent us. Do you all understand? The mayor, the police force, the schools, these people and these entities can either speak good of us or speak bad of us. They can work with us or work against us. Civic engagement is a vital part of a masjid's existence within a community. In this next year, we'll be working with the mayor, the city council members, the chief of police, schools and university. I actually got an invitation from a school today, and also colleges and the media, so that we can create a database, introduce ourselves, host them here for Islam 101 or biannual open houses. I do a seminar called What is Sharia? We want to do it here to educate people on these words, Sharia, and explain what it really means, and to forge a relationship with them, because we need to work with each other. And this is how I plan to do it. I don't want to go through it. It's too long. Number 4. So we've done education, leadership, civic engagement, interfaith, and outreach. Alhamdulillah, this morning also I was at a meeting for Texas Instruments, and we're talking about a conference coming up that will be hosted in Texas Instrument of interfaith work and working with people of different religions. Alhamdulillah, for those who know me, who follow me on social media, or who have seen my website, they know interfaith work is a very integral part of what I do. I love interfaith work. And just to inform you all, I'll be leaving inshallah on Wednesday morning for a week. I'll be going up to Canada to speak at the Parliament of World Religions. It's like every 4 years, it's like Olympics, where religious leaders from across the world come together. It happens in different cities around the world. This year it's going to be held in Toronto. 10,000 plus people are expected. Myself and a few friends from Harvard and Chicago and Tampa will be presenting on the challenges youth face in faith in this world. So I need your prayers, and I want you to understand that as an interfaith partner, we need to lead in interfaith work in this masjid. If Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did it, if Rasulullah sent the Muslims to Habasha, to Christians, and he went to the Jews of Medina, and we worked together, it's only through working together will we succeed. So in the first year, I'm going to meet with the interfaith partners that we currently have. I want to expand to all Plano clergy members in the following year. In the final year, the entire Collin County. What are we trying to do? We want to lead. As this masjid, when it comes to interfaith work, our masjid should be known as a leader in interfaith work. Yesterday was a conference at SMU. It was an annual conference for interfaith. There was 4 Muslims there. How many? 4. The Imam of Nashville, Tennessee, myself, a brother from Irving, and actually two sisters from Plano from another community. We have bad representation. And if we cannot go and work with interfaith leaders and for them to then speak positive of us in their congregations, we're not going to be safe. We're not saying that we're compromising our religion, but we're saying is we want you and us to work together. I foresee, inshallah, in this community where interfaith work in regards to bettering our society happens in our masjid, say inshallah. When we will be invited, we will all go, inshallah, because it's part of the community where you work, where you shop, where you eat, and where your kids go to school. So that's going to be one of the places that will work. As for the youngsters, I think people wake up now, the next generation. The most important task at hand is how do we equip the children? So I put together for this community a 5-tier system, how to produce the next generation. In all 5 of these tiers, we will be focusing on 4 areas. Knowledge, which is what they learn in the skills. Mentorship, service to himself and to the community, and engagement in society. We will be helping grow them in these 4 fields in all 5 of the tiers. I believe that when we do program for children, it has to be effective based on age groups. Age 5 to 11 to me is one group. 12 to 15 is a second, 16 to 18 when they're in high school, and then 19 to 24 when they are out in the community in colleges and universities, and then mashallah with waves in our masjid, which we are blessed to have, a great program, the young professionals, from leadership training for them, mentorship focused programs for the ones in colleges and university, empowering the teens because when they go to university, they're asked questions that they cannot answer, engaging them on contemporary topics, and of course, educating their minds and building a foundation. You could read the goals on the side, but brothers and sisters, if we invest correctly with our children, we will create a system that will continue to fine-tune itself. But right now, we don't have that system. Before I go to the final slide, I'm asking everyone here, if you want, take out your phones. My email is imam@planomasjid.org. What is it, everyone? imam@planomasjid.org. I need help with this. Anyone that feels they can take time to become part of a strategy committee, that I want someone to help me lead in this field, in this field, in this field, in this field, and in this field. I need help. I cannot do it myself. That's why I'm reaching out to sisters and brothers. If you feel you can help me on this, send me an email and say, I'm willing to help in this place. That's all I need from you. In interfaith and outreach, I need community's help. All of us can do a little part and be a strategic part of building this community. I need everyone's help in civic engagement. Whoever can help out in that and take some time out to schedule those meetings and meet with them, I'm willing to. I need the help in that. As for education also, I need help. And also in leadership development, I also need help. So in these 4 or 5 things that we've covered so far, if there's anything that anyone feels they can help in, I need your help in that. In addition to that, I'm continuing to give pastoral counseling. Pastoral counseling does not mean I'm a shrink, a psychologist, a psychiatrist. By Quran and Hadith, we're trying to give spiritual guidance and mentorship to people who come to us. And I'll give you numbers soon. What we're trying to do is create a graph that allows us, inshallah, by Ramadan to see what are the vital needs within our community and what are the priorities of what we should address. In addition to all that I've shown you, my job goes back to the basic duties that everyone looks at, leading prayers. MashaAllah, there's 5 of us who work together to make sure all the prayers are led. Because I hope you all agree, if I am bounded here for all 5 prayers every day, it will be practically impossible to do the work that we talked about. You all agree? I told Brother Nafis when I came in September, give me 2 weeks, I'll give you my 3-year vision. A month passed. I said in October. It came down to last week. Why? That's why I'm always running to my office. There is so much in this community. I need to comprehend it and put together a vision that we could all work together. It's taken a lot of time. But in addition to all that, there is leading prayers, giving the khutbah, doing janazas, nikahs, Ramadan programs, and also to be an advisor to the branches of our our services provided here to help them and to work with them so that we can do a better job. Here is my weekly schedule. If anyone's interested, this shows what I do, where I go, from the classes to counseling hours to meetings to halaqas, interfaith work, which is yet to begin. This is all here. And here is the month of September and October. So I'm doing this because I feel transparency is important. In the month of September, my duties entailed 48 prayers. I led 60. I've given 173 hours of the month towards this masjid. I provided 33 religious counseling, which is questions and answers, but there was 24 pastoring counseling, which entailed marriage, children, so on and so forth. 20 classes were conducted, 16 meetings, 6 events, 81 emails, 16 phone calls to my cell phone, 3 to the office phone, 32 text messages, 2 janazas, 1 shahada, and 8 social engagements. This is for this month till today. You can look at how the emails are rising and also the text media and social media messages. That's from WhatsApp, text messages, and also Facebook Messenger. And that's strictly for our community, not anything else. Events, meetings, classes, pastoral counseling, 18 to this month. And social engagements. Alhamdulillah, we had our first nikah. I did my first nikah in this community today. So, brothers and sisters, we're ending now. All I ask from you is, if we want a better future, it's not going to happen by doing the same thing every day. Do you all agree with me? If we continue just coming here, praying, doing school classes, and going home, it's not going to work. Yourself, myself, and alhamdulillah, I know that IACC is working with all of us to pave the path for how to sustain a community for the long haul, inshallah. Inshallah. And if we do it right, then I'm confident all masajid around us will follow, inshallah. So in closing here, brothers and sisters, that puts an end to what we did tonight. I want to thank you all for your time. The past is behind us. The future is in front of us. The vision was proposed today. I ask you all for one favor. Help in making this happen. I don't have much energy in my body, but I'm hoping that you all will help me, and little by little, slowly but surely, we will do this together, inshallah. Before the adhan, as for the neighbor program, where you have an opportunity to bring a neighbor, a coworker, your boss, anyone, to the masjid and host them for a lunch on December 1st, where they can see our community center and what we do here. If you're interested, inshallah, the invitations will be handed out with a registration sheet outside in the rotunda after the Isha prayer. This goes to show that how people in the community take one project, how good it works. MashaAllah, these two brothers and those who they're working with have done this for 2 years. This is going to be year 3. We're going to invite more people, inshallah, because we have this space. So we need your assistance and participation. Any questions or concerns before we end? Yes. We have to. Yeah. Sure. So alhamdulillah, let me answer. The brother's question is that in the current climate, we need more civic engagement and also collaboration with the masajid. Did everyone understand that question, that concern? Alhamdulillah, since I've been here in the last 2 months, I've already met with the chief of police, with Brother Nafis. I've also met with the mayor, with Brother Nafis. The mayor just wrote a letter to me. He was very happy to meet me. He's looking forward to working with me. Alhamdulillah, I've worked in civic engagement with President Clinton, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, and also under President Bush and also Jeb Bush. I can let you know that it's important, and we have started. I've met with many interfaith leaders yesterday, and inshallah that's going to continue to grow, and also other civic leaders. As for our masajid, there is a Sufi center off of Preston. There are a Sufi center from the Shia community. I went and met with them. They invited me to their open house. I met with their leaders. I've met already with the Ismaili community. And with our masajid here, the McKinney, Frisco, Allen, Epic, all the Imams and we are friends from past also. And alhamdulillah, we are working together through the effort of Mufti Wasim, who's done a lot of work on this before I came, that every month we are going to everyone's masjid. And not only are we holding meetings, but we're also doing events. So inshallah, next month is in Epic. December it's here. Last week was in Frisco. So the level of collaboration, mashallah, that's between the Imams in Collin County, we don't see that in any other community in America. This collaboration is going to grow, inshallah. We are going to work collectively. But what I feel this masjid could offer on the table for other communities is sustainable growth in vision and leadership. That's what we can do because we're not expanding anymore. We're talking about leading this community, inshallah. So that's happening, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Any other questions or concerns? Sisters, if you have any questions, I'm sorry there's no microphone there. You can meet with me after Isha in the Rotunda. Jazakumullah khair. I just ask all you for one question. Are we willing to do this or no? Inshallah? Because I don't want to be in a masjid where we just do the same old thing. We need to work together. What's at stake is all that you see and all that we can potentially see tomorrow. Our children will be safe, inshallah. Their children will be safe, inshallah. Our masjid will be safe, inshallah, if we work for the next 3 years. All I'm asking for is 3 years of your time. I'm not saying morning to evening. Take a task, help in some aspect, participate. Your opinions, your suggestions are important. Anytime anyone's come to me with opinion, I've given them my ear. Even though I haven't ate food, I'll stand with them and listen to them. Why? Because your words are important, your thoughts are important, your concerns are important. But let's work together, inshallah, in a mature fashion. And let's always say, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, before we do something, so shaitan will not have a part, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessings will be there. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Allahumma rabbana taqabbal minna innaka أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة. الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
لا إله إلا الله. جزاك الله خير ما شاء الله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد. الله أكبر. سبحان الله. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. أذن للذين يقاتلون بأنهم ظلموا وإن الله على نصرهم لقدير. الذين أخرجوا من ديارهم بغير حق إلا أن يقولوا ربنا الله ولولا دفع الله الناس بعضهم ببعض لهدمت صوامع وبيع وصلوات ومساجد يذكر فيها اسم الله كثيرا ولينصرن الله من ينصره إن الله لقوي عزيز. الذين إن مكناهم في الأرض أقاموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة وأمروا بالمعروف ونهوا عن المنكر ولله عاقبة الأمور. وإن يكذبوك فقد كذبت قبلهم قوم نوح وعاد وثمود وقوم إبراهيم وقوم لوط وأصحاب مدين وكذب موسى فأمليت للكافرين ثم أخذتهم فكيف كان نكير. فكأي من قرية أهلكناها وهي ظالمة فهي خاوية على عروشها وبئر معطلة وقصر مشيد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. فكأين من قرية أهلكناها وهي ظالمة فهي خاوية على عروشها وبئر معطلة وقصر مشيد أفلم يسيروا في الأرض فتكون لهم قلوب يعقلون بها أو آذان يسمعون بها فإنها لا تعمى الأبصار ولكن تعمى القلوب التي في الصدور ويستعجلونك بالعذاب ولن يخلف الله وعده وإن يوما عند ربك كألف سنة مما تعدون. وكأين من قرية أمليت لها وهي ظالمة ثم أخذتها وإلي المصير. قل يا أيها الناس إنما أنا لكم نذير مبين. الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم مغفرة ورزق كريم والذين سعوا في آياتنا معاجزين أولئك أصحاب الجحيم. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
الله أكبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Once again, jazakumullah khairan to all those that participated tonight. Please take the conversation home and allow this conversation to continue within our community to allow everyone to understand that we're working towards something bigger and better. And inshallah, with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we will obtain that and accomplish that. Inshallah, tomorrow morning after Fajr prayer, we're going to have a program here. There will be a class followed by breakfast for the community. We humbly request everyone to participate, inshallah, for the brothers and for the sisters, inshallah. And next Friday will be our family night. The family night will continue in my absence. Inshallah, Sheikh Arsalan will be speaking to us for a few minutes, followed by vendors outside and some games and activities. As a community, this masjid should also be known as a place where we come together and have some downtime. So inshallah, let our communities gel together, the children bond with each other and play together. So inshallah, that will happen the following Friday. And then also on December 1st, the neighborhood lunch. If you're interested in assisting or bringing your neighbor or coworker or boss or anyone else to the masjid for a lunch, please meet with the brothers, Brother Ahmed outside. They will be, inshallah, explaining to you the process and also give you the envelope that has the RSVP that your neighbor could then RSVP for the program, and inshallah we can assist to make this program a success. Jazakumullah khairan. Take care everyone, and we'll speak to you all soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Just one more announcement. For those of you who come to the Saturday mornings after Fajr Quran Study Circle, so inshallah once a month, every month, we will not have that study circle. Instead, we will have the discussion with the Imam starting tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, inshallah, there will be no Quran study circle. In its place, there will be a discussion with the Imam and then the potluck breakfast that he spoke about. So that will be every month, inshallah ta'ala. So there will be no tajweed and tafsir halaqah tomorrow morning. But hope to see you all there for the breakfast and the dars. Jazakumullah khair.